Welcome back, graduates. Today I'm going to show you how to set up and configure the pricing cards on Ecomify. This is going to be on Ecomify 3.2 and moving forward. So this is our demo and what it looks like. If you go into our features page, scroll all the way down at the very bottom, you will start seeing that there are pricing plan. These are going to be cards, so you can have option for 1, 2, or 3 in a row. Just keep in consideration that when you start having more cards in the row on desktop, then you have to consider the words and being all close together and also scrambled up. So 3 or 2 might look like the best. We do have the option for you to have the heading, subtitle, also an icon, the product card title, and then also a subtext underneath that, as well as check marks or X's for this. Now this is going to be like this is going to be used as like pricing plans for if you have a business or a service and you need to display different pricing plans. This would be a great section to use for it. And then you do have the option to change out the call to action and the button itself as well. So to get started and to set this up, you're going to go into your Ecomify 3.2 and higher, and you're going to go into any page that you want this section to be displayed. This is going to be a section, so it means that it can be displayed on a product page, blog, collection, or also just a regular page in itself. So I'm going to go into the About Us just to show you guys, scrolling at the very bottom here. And what it'll look like is when you add section, you can start searching through the sections, or you can start typing in and it will populate pricing plans, the section for you. Now know that this as a default will look like this. And then once you start adding the plan, you can add 2, 3, however many, but again, take in consideration the spacing. So once you start adding 4, you have a little less space to add the content. So I'm just going to remove that. And now it will look like this without saving. And scrolling at the very bottom, what I like to do is adjust the padding and the margin. Padding is a space within the element, margin is a space outside of the element. So I'm just going to give some even spacing right there. Now I'm going to click save. So right over here is the section that I am hovering over on the right sidebar. When you're on a very large desktop, on the right sidebar, I have my background color options, and then I have my gradient, my background gradient option. This is given on all sections, this option. Then we have container option, fluid, or in a container. Fluid means outside, and in a container, and container means in a container. So if I start doing fluid and then I do my full width screen, it'll be edge to edge right there. So then we have text alignment, which is left or centered. And then, as always now, with the new update, you have title font. Title font for mobile and for desktop as well. So I can make this larger or bigger, and also for mobile. Then I have description, which is optional, and also then the description mobile and desktop sizing. Then I have animation options. We have all of these animations from the zoom, back, bounce, or we have no animation at all for this section. And then the speed as well. And then the spacing like mentioned before. Now going into, this is something to consider, now going into the pricing blocks itself. These are individual blocks, and remember, when changing out the first content of the block, it will not display in the second block and third unless you go in and change it. So we're going to go into the first one for demo purposes, and this might look pretty similar. We want to keep the branding all similar. You do have options for shadow, no shadow, or large shadow. You'll start seeing that there are some shadow differences within the cards. So then we have border width. So if you are choosing a primary color, it'll start looking like this. And also then you can adjust border width to really big, however you want to style and design it. Then we have an option for the header image. So this is going to be, for example, a SVG that we have right here, gave you that option, plus the image height by pixels as well. We also provided the title, and then title for desktop and mobile, and also and also then the body and the description size and description mobile. Now for this, there is a template that we provide for you. If you go into the docs, here is our documentation for Ecomify. If you scroll all the way down to wherever your version is, you can start seeing that we have sections and features, and under this pricing plans documentation, we have a template for you to use. This is the template to use if you want to use the check mark and the X's for this. So what I would do is I would just go in and paste that so it'll look like this. So keep in consideration that the reason why it has check is because it's calling for that in between the brackets. So if you want a check mark, put it in between the brackets. If you want a cross, put it in between the brackets. So we do have presets like that for you. Here it is in the documentation as well. And then we do have down here the button text and then the button URL for collections, blogs, or other pages, or even external links as well. And then the button color. These colors are again set in the theme settings under your styling. So when you go to over here on the far left under theme settings, you'll see colors here, and this is where it's pulling in the colors that you are choosing for your store. So these are your sections, theme settings, and then these are where your app embeds lie. And that is how to set up and configure the pricing plans. Now, one thing to take note is also on mobile. It is optimized for mobile, as it does just do a nice scroll option here.